Hello everyone, my name is Anna and welcome to my channel. I'd like to thank everyone for the love on my first video. Big love, especially if you're not related to me. That was really nice. And yeah, I plan to post more covers in the future. However, for today, I thought that I would just, break the ice, introduce myself, because so far I've just belted it in your face and that's a bit much, So today I am going to do my top 5. How many do I have? Top 6. Maths is my passion. Today I'm going to give you all my top musicals, and I have seen most of these, technically. These are just the ones that I love. Some of them are a bit niche, some of them are kind of war horses, the classics, basic. But yeah, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so as a little bit of context, I'm just gonna share a bit about me. So I am a theatre student. I've been involved in musical theatre and theatre for years now. I got involved in my high school years. I started in about year 9, which is 13ish. And yeah, I've loved it ever since. I've worked on stage, backstage, in the production crew, everything, and it's really my passion in life, and I really want to go into it when I finish my degree. So with all that said, let's get started. Okay, this first one, just, you know what I'm gonna say. You already know it. It's Wicked. I love Wicked so much. This is the show that got me into musical theatre. Fun fact, I used to hate theatre. I used to hate going to the theatre. I used to hate the experience. I think it stems from traumatic experiences as a kind of toddler child, going to the panto. I remember we saw Beauty and the Beast and something exploded in like the first scene and I was out of there. I could not hack it, I was done. So yeah, up until I saw Wicked in about year 4ish, I absolutely hated the notion of going to the theatre. I couldn't even entertain it. And my cousin went with her school actually, and she had an extra ticket or something, but I ended up going with her and I was blown away. I couldn't believe that this was a thing that happened. I recently watched Mackenzie Kurtz's video where she said that Wicked was also the musical that got her into it, and she was like, strap me into the lift, and I entirely empathise with that statement. Like, it's just so iconic. And the interval came and I was like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, I want to be there, I want to be green, paint me green right now, let's go. But yeah, without Wicked, I wouldn't be here doing this today, which is really cool, and however basic it may be, like, it's a really good show and I would still love to be green. Up next we have a bit of a newer show, but it's fast becoming a cult classic, and it's easy to see why. It's unreal, and it's Come From Away. I first saw Come From Away when it opened in London, and I saw it in February 2019, and my jaw dropped. This show is amazing. If you can see it, please do. Like, this is the one show that I will recommend to people to go and see. When you think about the premise of the show, it's not really something that you think would be, good in musical format. It's a musical about 9/11 in its basic form, but it's a really heartwarming story about this small town in Canada and how they came to accept loads of travellers who came as a result of the diversions after 9/11, and it's just such a good show. And I saw Rachel Tucker in the role of Captain Beverly Bass, and Rachel Tucker was my first Elphaba. There you go, throwback. And I just love that woman so much. Her voice, she possesses such a talent, and I loved it. And also, it's only one act. I really think that in the future more plays and musicals will be going one act, because it's just so much easier. Like, you're in and out. And while I appreciate that in a longer musical you might need an interval to, have a rest, have a breather, go to the loo, but with the shorter musical, it's just so easy and you're so immersed in it because you don't have that break in the middle. And so I just loved the whole experience. It's a fantastic show. The music is gorgeous. It's folky. It's kind of Celtic, Irish inspired, because Newfoundland is very, the Irish diaspora is quite big there. And so, yeah, I would recommend this show to absolutely everyone if you can see it. It's just unreal. And I think they're filming it soon with the original cast. I might be making that up, but if I'm not, then yay! Okay, this next one, if you know me, you're gonna be like, oh, for God's sake, not again. But to others, it might be a little bit out of the left field, but it is Frozen, the Broadway musical. I love this show. I obviously haven't seen it because it's not open yet in London and I haven't been to Broadway, but I have my ways, if you will. I initially didn't have much interest in this show. Like, I enjoyed the film, but it came out when I was 12, something like that, so I was a little bit past the age that it was intended for, and you know, I was kind of being cool about it, so I didn't see it properly until I was about 14. So I didn't really expect, you know, hard-hitting drama from Frozen the musical, but the way that they've adapted it for the stage is so stunning. The set is gorgeous, the orchestrations are unreal, like that version of For the First Time in Forever where the ensemble come in at the end, beautiful. They said that they wanted the show to be more appealing to an adult audience, someone who might be going to the theatre, you know, more often than a child would. So I really think that they achieved it. Like, the content material, some of it's actually really dark, it's deep stuff. But yeah, I would love to be in it. Of course I would. But I also can't wait to see it. I have plans with my friend to go and see it in December if we can get tickets, so I'm really excited for that. And as well, just to finish it off, this show is the one that introduced me to the powerhouse that is Mackenzie Kurtz. If you don't know her, go and look up her version of For the First Time in Forever, or just watch the bootleg. Do you know what I mean? Just do it. It's there. It's on YouTube. It's free. But she is amazing. Her vocal tone, her placement, her acting, everything. I love her performance so much. I would highly recommend going and watching it. Okay, this next one is an actual, like, out of the box, where did she get that one? Just bear with me for this one, okay? The fourth show on my list is The Mystery of Edwin Drood. Do you know it? Because I didn't for a very long time. Drood was on Broadway in about 2014, I believe, and it had Stephanie J. Block, Betsy Wolfe, Cheetah Rivera. Like, actually the cast was huge, but not many people know this show, and it's wacky. That's the only way I can put it, it's wacky. The story is based on an unfinished novel by Charles Dickens. He died before he finished it, so no one actually knows how it ended. And the music and book is by the same guy who wrote the Pina Colada song. So, which, you know, don't particularly sound like the makings of a good musical, but it's so much fun. It is so much fun. This is a show that I would love to be a part of and put on, because a major factor of the show is the fact that it's interactive. The ending changes each night depending on who gets picked as the killer, who gets picked as the detective, the lovers, everything. And so there's so many endings that are possible, and obviously that would be hell on a cast to learn. But yeah, I saw a bootleg of it a few years ago and I was stunned because, do you know, I was a little bit shell-shocked because it's a lot at once, but it is so much fun and I would love to be able to see it. I don't think it gets put on very often, but if it does, then I will be there. The next one isn't one that I would say is particularly popular among my generation, but I think it's such a good show. The content is heavy, but it is Spring Awakening. And I first saw Spring Awakening when a bootleg popped up on my YouTube page when I was around 12, 13. And I should not have been watching it as a 12 and 13-year-old. I will hold my hands up and say that I shouldn't have been, because that show is raunchy. But I think that it's just stunning. Like, musically, again, it's got those folky elements. I'm really drawn towards like folky songs in musicals. For some reason, a 6/8, my kind of thing. It won a Tony in around 2004, I think, and Leah Michelle was in it, who of course was in Glee, who has done other questionable things since. Jonathan Groff, who was in Hamilton and Frozen. Who else was in it? Skylar Astin from Pitch Perfect. The one guy, what's his name? Drew, I don't know. But yeah, this is also one that I would love to be in, but of course it's a very heavy show. The themes are quite hard-hitting. If you want to go and look it up, then I would recommend, because I think it's an amazing show. It's all about dealing with growing up and things that you're told and things that you have to learn for yourself, and yeah, I love it so much. I never got to see it when it was in London because I was 8 or something. I was basically a vegetable. But if it ever comes back, I want to be in it, first of all, but I would also love to see it. I need to stop saying I want to be in shows. I'm like, gonna jinx it for myself. I'm gonna round this out with my, I think, all-time favourite musical, and it's another kind of basic option, but it is Les Mis. I first saw Les Mis when I was 12, something like that. I used to go with my friend every single year. We went like 3 years in a row at the cast change and we just had an absolute ball. I'm not gonna lie, I first saw it because Carrie Hope Fletcher was in it as Eponine, and I used to be a huge Carrie Hope Fletcher stan. I still love her, I love her content, but my god, I wanted to be her. Oh my god, embarrassing story alert. So I went to stage door afterwards, and when Carrie came out I was just starstruck, and I went up to her and I went, I want to be like you. Here I am. No, here's a photo of that encounter. I'm gonna fish it out of the archives. I look very young. But yeah, I've seen Les Mis something like 17 times. I lost count, honestly. I used to go to London by myself as a teenager without telling anyone where I was going and buy day seats so that I could see it, because I loved it that much, which in hindsight isn't a very safe thing to do. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but you know, I was so engrossed and I loved the show so much. I haven't seen it in a while, obviously because of the pandemic, but also because I just have, you know, jumped onto the bandwagon of other things. But Les Mis is the show that I would absolutely die to be in. If I could breathe in Les Mis, like in the back with no lines to sing or say or anything, then I would be happy, do you know, because I'd be in Les Mis. I also took my brother to it one year, which was really nice, and yeah, that was a nice little bonding experience for the both of us. So Les Mis holds a very special place in my heart. So there we go, there are my top musicals. I might do a plays one in the future. I don't particularly have like favourite plays as much as I do musicals, but you know, they still exist. I thought this would just be a nice one to kind of, you know, ease into things, let you know some things about me. And if you enjoyed it, please let me know. You can leave me a comment. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing if you would like to. I'm also on Twitter at KeriskAnna and on Instagram at anna.kerisk, so if you want to follow me there as well, do, sure. But yeah, that's everything from me this week, and I will see you next week. Bye!